Hello NuPIC, this is Matt Taylor. This tutorial is going to be compiling and building NuPIC on Ubuntu from source code entirely, as opposed to the previous installation video, which was just installing from binary file. And this one will show you everything that you need to compile it all yourself. So that's the plan. I'm going to start out by going to our GitHub page, and we've got NuPIC here, but that's not all that we need. We will also need NuPIC core. So I'll search for NuPIC core GitHub too, and that's actually where we are going to start. Right? Hello. There we go. Just trying to make it big so everybody can see. So the first thing we want to do is grab the source code. You can download a tarball if you want, which may be the easiest way to go, or you can just clone and git. I'm going to clone and git. If you're going to develop this code at all, that's what I would suggest that you do if you want to be a part of the project. So I'm in my home directory, and I don't have git installed. So I'm pretty much starting from scratch here. So if you type git and you get something like, hey, this is not installed, you can install it by doing that, and then do that. Sudo apt get install git. This is our source control management system. At any point where I run a command that's going to take a while, I will just speed through it in the post-editing process, so you don't have to watch me staring at the screen. So just letting you know up front. And also, I'm not really following the README. I will follow part of the README, but in some cases, like where dependencies are involved, like these, I'm just going to skip this, and we're going to run into the errors that you would run into if you forgot to install a dependency yourself, just so I can show you the error that comes up and how to work around it. So first, we'll just install git. Should have git installed now, so I can say git clone and paste that URL I got from the GitHub page, which is the repository location of NuPIC core. This will probably take a few minutes. There we go, we have it cloned. Now we're going to go into that NuPIC core directory, nupic.core, making this really obscenely big so everyone can see it. And here's all the source code. All the C is in src, and the instructions on compiling are in the README. I'm going to be reading them off of the screen here. So the first instruction we have is to pip install whatever's in this requirements.txt file. So at a high level, let me explain a couple things first. NuPIC core is a C++ program that you have to install first. NuPIC bindings is a Python application that is a swig binding from the C++ interface, making it available in Python. That's sort of a different build step. This pip install is something that needs to be installed before you build the source. It installs all of the Python modules necessary for the project to run, the NuPIC bindings specifically. So we'll try and run that first. So I'm pasting that command, pip install -r. We don't have pip installed, so let's do that. Sudo apt get install python -pip. So pip version is 1.5.4, which is pretty old, but I'm not going to bother updating it right now. You can try your luck at updating it if you wish. So now we're going to compile some C. So here's the steps we need to take next. First of all, you might notice that this script expects us to have an environment variable called NuPIC core set. So let's do that. I'm going to edit my bash rc and add an export statement at the bottom. I'll just add a section here called my stuff, export NuPIC core equals home, my home directory / NuPIC.core. Okay, I have to source that for the shell to pick it up. So now I should be able to cd NuPIC core and be in the same directory I am in. So the first thing we're going to do is create a build scripts directory. And then we're going to go into the build scripts directory, and then we're going to make call a cmake command. Okay? So let's make build/scripts. Let's go into build/scripts. And let's run cmake. Hey, but I don't have cmake. If I try to run cmake, I don't have it installed. I can install it by running this command, which I will do right now. It actually didn't take very long. So again, we're in the build scripts directory. We're going to run a cmake command. And we need to point to the source directory, which is in our NuPIC core dir/src. This source directory has a cmake lists.txt file in it. That is all of the cmake instructions. You don't have to worry about that. That just is where it needs to be. And it's where all the source code is. And we're going to pass this long option into it, which I'm just going to copy. D-cmake install prefix dash, equals ... /release. So the cmake install prefix is telling cmake where to install. We're going to put it into a folder called release that's one level up from this one. So it's going to be in NuPIC core build release. And what cmake does at this point is it sets up to make. Okay, so we had a problem. Let's see what it was. No module named NuPy. Oh, you know what we never did? I think I installed pip. No, yeah. So I never did run this pip install command here. I installed pip and then moved on to the next step. So what I really need to do, that's why we got that error that NumPy wasn't installed, is because we need to run this pip command. But I'm in the wrong directory now to do it. I need to go down into NuPIC core, right? So I am in NuPIC core now. And now I'm going to run this pip install command that I forgot to do earlier. And this is going to install all of the Python dependencies that are required. Oh no, we got an error. Couldn't create something because permission was denied. That's an easy fix. When you run a pip command like this, it assumes that you want to install at a system level, and we don't. We want to install at a user level. So what I'm doing is adding this flag that says -- user, so it will install into a local location, and you won't run into any permissions issues. So now it's getting NumPy, and it's going to be still having a problem because we don't have Python headers. So we need to install python-dev. So this is also very easy. Sudo apt get install python-dev. If I had bothered to follow the README, like I said I wasn't, I would know that I need to install Python headers. I need to have NumPy and this other stuff. But I'm not. I'm just, like I said, running into these issues as they come up. Okay, so we've installed Python dev now, and now we're going to try and run this pip install command to get all of our Python modules, including NumPy, installed. So it's going and getting NumPy again. It's compiling it locally, and this is going to take a while. So go get yourself a cup of tea or something. And hopefully you've got your fresh tea with you now, and we can continue onward after we've installed our requirements. Let's see, where was I? I had done cmake, right? Had I run the cmake command? I think that was the next thing that I needed to do because it failed, because it needed NumPy installed. So we're going to go back into our build scripts directory and run this cmake command again. Oh, we have another problem. Cap and P. If you ever see this cap and P stuff, that is Cap'n Proto. another one of the dependencies that was explicitly declared up here that we needed. So let's open that in a new tab and take a quick look. Captain Proto is a serialization protocol. We're going to install it. It's fairly easy to install. It just takes a little while to compile. Typically, in Unix, I've had a lot of success just copying this and pasting it into my shell. So wherever I want it to get installed, let's see, I'm going to go into my home directory, make a directory called dev, which is typically what I do, and I'm going to put it in that directory. And boom, it's getting the tarball, it's going into it, it's blowing it up, it's running a configure right now. And hopefully this stuff works. But the actual make check step is going to take a really long time. So once again, get yourself a tea refill, I guess. Okay, Captain Proto, you are installed. Excellent. So now I need to go back to NuPIC core, build scripts, and run that cmake command again for the third time and see what happens. Checking for, and it worked. All right, so we are finally all ready to go. So the cmake command doesn't take a long time to run. It basically just generates all the make files and stuff that we need. Now all we need to do is run make. So we're going to run make, and then we're going to run make install pretty much. The J3 or the J whatever is just to tell how many cores you want to use to make. I'm going to use them all. I'm going to do J8. And this will take a minute or two. Here we go. Looks like it is made. Now we want to run make install. This is going to install into that release directory, which you should be able to see in all of the paths that are running across the screen here. It's going into NuPIC core, build, release. That's where NuPIC core, the C++ project, has just been installed. Okay, so the C project is now installed. Now we can run the tests. Let's do that real quick, just to make sure everything looks good. And it's to make tests CPP region, which should go really fast. All tests passed. The other one is make tests unit. These are C unit tests. This takes a couple more seconds, but all tests pass. Very good. Back to our instructions. Now we're going to install the Python project. So let's go back to NuPIC core. I am in the NuPIC core directory here. There is a setup.py here, if you're familiar with Python stuff. So we're going to run Python setup.py install, and we need to pass it the location of the installation we just did. So that's going to be NuPIC core dir equals. And I'm going to send in the environment variable for NuPIC core, and it's in build/release. That's where we just installed that C project to. And in order to avoid any permissions issues, I'm going to add the -- user flag to the end. And this will install the NuPIC bindings Python module in my Python environment. And this bindings is the Python binding so we can call into that C program that we just installed. Okay, if you see something like this at the end, that means everything went well. NuPIC bindings has now been installed, and that's a good thing. We don't need to worry about anything else at this point. We have the C application installed. We've got Captain P installed. We've got NuPIC bindings installed. The next step is to move on to the NuPIC project, which is a Python project that requires NuPIC core to be installed. So, back to my home directory, and I'm going to git clone the NuPIC repository. And here we go. NuPIC is now right alongside NuPIC core. We're going to go into NuPIC, and there's all of our source code. We've got a setup Pi here as well, and really that's all we need to worry about running. At this point, we just have to run Python setup Pi install -- user. That's it. And there we go. So after some further compilation of the dependencies of NuPIC, which some of them include further C extensions, we have everything installed. A quick test: go into our Python interpreter, import NuPIC bindings, and there's no problems with that, so that's good. Now let's run a quick test. Let's run the tests. We have tests in a scripts folder here. Before we can run the tests, I need to make sure that pi.test is on my command line, and it's currently not. I do have it installed. All I need is to find the binary and make sure it's on my path. So I know that if I go into my home directory, which is where I'm at, there is a .local directory. This is where Pip will install all of the Python dependencies that we've been installing if you put the -- user flag. There's a bin folder in here for executables. There's where the PyTest is. So all I really need to do is take this path and add it to my path. So I'm going to do this by editing my bash rc once again. Oh, I'm also, while I'm in here, and I haven't talked about this yet, but I am going to also export NuPIC environment variable to point to the NuPIC checkout. And then I'll update my path. Path, export path equals the path, colon, and the path to my local bin. I'm going to resource that file. Whoops. -rc. So now I should be able to run pi.test. Yeah. Okay, so I now have PyTest on my path. Back to NuPIC. Make sure that environment variable works, and it does. So now I'm going to run the tests, unit test. And it's in the scripts directory. There is already a script in here called run NuPIC tests. I'm going to give it a -u for unit tests, and we're going to run the tests. It should take a few minutes, but you should only get tests that pass or are skipped. Okay, good news, everybody. All the tests passed, except for those that were skipped. And there's one more thing I want to run. I always run this just to make sure. If all these tests pass, you can rest assured that NuPIC is very likely properly installed. But I always like to go into the examples directory, OPF, client, hotgem, simple. And there is a script here called hotgem. This is just an exercising the NuPIC system through the OPF. It creates a model, it passes a bunch of data through it, and it dumps the mean average % error over time on the screen. So as long as this is what you're seeing, everything's fine. So the test ran, the example ran, everything looks good. So I'm going to jump into the Python interpreter, and I just want to show you how you can get or figure out what version of NuPIC bindings and NuPIC that you have. Let's start with importing package resources. And let's see, I'll say NuPIC equals package resources. Actually, I'm going to start with bindings. NuPIC bindings equals package resources get distribution NuPIC bindings. So this is me just getting some information about NuPIC bindings. So now if I print, for example, NuPIC bindings dot project name, NuPIC bindings dot version, we can see NuPIC bindings 021 is installed. Now I'm going to get NuPIC in the same way. I'll just copy this. NuPIC and print NuPIC project name, NuPIC version, and we are at 034.dev 0. So you're only going to see this .dev thing if you're building source off of tip master. If you're on a release tag or you've downloaded the code from a release page, it would be there would be no .dev at the end of it. So this is just a way to tell what versions of NuPIC bindings you have installed. So let's quit out of there, and we're done. We have NuPIC installed. We've gone through installing NuPIC core from C source code, which included installing Captain Proto from C source code, and then installing NuPIC bindings as a Python project, and then installing NuPIC, the Python-only project, which depends on all of the other stuff. So I hope this was helpful for anyone who's watching out there on getting NuPIC running and building on Ubuntu. This has been Ubuntu 14 LTS. Thanks for watching.